Look.
Listen.
Taylor.
Hey everybody, welcome to episode 83 of Look, Listen with Geese Guyera and Taylor. Today we're going to talk about Pokemon and other things, specifically episode 35 of Horizons, Big Ol' Terapagos' Gleamin' Adventures. Every Friday we do that. Geese Peep, we missed you last week. You weren't here. You were touching starfish or something.
What gives?
Yeah.
What gives? Please tell the Clambos what's new with Geese in our brand new segment, Geese of the Week. What's new with Geese?
Let's go,
I
Geese.
went to Portland, Oregon, where I stayed with my friend, and also Aaron came for some of it with me.
You're going to say for some reason. He wasn't invited.
For some reason, this guy came. It was great. I did a lot of tide pooling. I touched starfish, saw the hermit crabs. It was great. Lots of great birding. Got to see my two close friends who I haven't seen in a while.
Taylor, what's your question of the week for Geese's Geese of the Week?
Do you question of the week from the bench? I'll allow it. My question for the bench. Can't laugh at my own joke this much. Do you wear special trousers when you go tidal pooling?
No. And you know what? I need to invest in some waders. Do you guys know what waders are?
Yes.
Big old river walking pants, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So when I went tide pooling, I did get hit by the tide. I did get a little wet.
Did you think she was going to say? I thought she was going to say a car.
Oh my God.
I got soaking wet, waist down, from a rogue wave while I was touching a starfish. It was worth it to do it, but in retrospect, I will invest in some waders going forward.
So, for clarification, you literally just wearing your civvies walked into the ocean.
Wearing my hiking pants, my Costco joggers that I wear when I hike. Aaron was wearing his jeans when we went tide pooling, and I was like,
yeah, but he wasn't even invited.
All right, does that conclude your question of Geese's Geese of the Week?
Yes, my question has been answered. The defense rests.
Is it time to go on to looking, playing, and eating?
It sounds like a yes to me.
Clambos, we're jumping right into my eating because you have no idea what this day means to me. I about lost my mind. Let me give you a little backstory. The year is 2003. I'm in front of our high school, and that one guy, Taylor, what's his name? The big guy, he was on the football team? I don't know. He has a big bag of McDonald's. I guess they gave him some extra food, and he gave it to me. I open up this bag. I say, what is this? I didn't know McDonald's had this menu item in Texas. I've never heard of it. I take a bite of what then becomes not only my favorite McDonald's menu item, but by far the greatest McDonald's menu item of all time. That's right, the steak, egg, and cheese bagel. Fast forward many years, I eat it all the time. For breakfast, you put your hash brown in there, your salt and pepper, you drink your orange juice or your coffee. It's incredible. I moved to California, 2014. They don't have them out here. What a shame. What misery. But then every time I visit family, I eat a ton of them. And then the pandemic strikes, and they remove them, Clambos. But what do I find on a poster just yesterday? Taylor in California.
Team Rocket.
That's right. What's your name, Geese?
Yeah.
That's right, Geese. It's a steak, egg, and cheese bagel from McDonald's.
I'm so excited. And here's the best part. I walk in there because it's not day, it's not morning time, but I burst in there and say, "You have steak, egg, and cheese bagels?" And they say, "Yeah, I mean, if you want one, you can just wait a little bit." And I said, you can make one now? Because it's the middle of the afternoon, late evening, something. Not late evening, but come on now. It's like late afternoon. And she says, "Yeah, I mean, we just can't, it's going to be make to order because we don't have them ready." And I said, "Hash brown too?" And she said, "Yeah, of course." But they gave me a steak, egg, and cheese bagel, and boy, howdy, I smelled that thing. The breakfast sauce is still as good as it ever has been. Oh, I can't believe it.
Aaron flew back from Portland to Chicago, and he went to the International McDonald's, and the only item they had left available was the British burger, which is like so sad.
Just like a bunch of boiled meat with no salt.
What do you mean the only one they had left?
They were sold out of every other menu item.
Oh, no, that's terrible. What's the point of going?
How do you plan that poorly as that location?
Another wild thing was when he went, it was only like 1 p.m.
Wow.
I don't understand.
Get it together, Chicago. I can't, in good conscience, enjoy my steak, egg, and cheese if I know all these poor Chicagoans are out there fighting for their life. Can't even get anything other than a British Innit burger. Also, this week, Clambos, guess what I'm going to go see tomorrow? That's right. Film of the year, Madam Web.
Ooh, with actress of a lifetime, Dakota Johnson.
She has been putting out a lot of very interesting promotion for this movie. People are just watching these videos of her she's looking at you dead in the eyes in the camera and saying, come on, go watch it. And people are going,
man.
yes, ma'am.
I'm very sold.
But because of MCU and everything's canon now with multiple universes, unfortunately, I have to see it. I'll let you know next week how it is. Geese Peep, let's hear what you've been eating this week. When
I was in Portland, speaking of bagels, Aaron and I got many breakfast bagels. Bagel sandwiches. There was a really good place near us, near a hotel. And guys, there was an onigiri shop walking distance from the hotel that was only open like 3 days a week. And on the last day I was at the hotel, I walked and I got a tuna onigiri, and it was the best onigiri I've ever eaten, even compared to Japan.
You get some better onigiri than that's the case.
Wow, Geese.
Well, it was delicious. I also went to Pine State Biscuits, or whatever it's called, that Michael recommended, and I had a really bad tumbo that day, so I just got a plain biscuit.
No.
And I was going to order salad, but they were out of salad. But the plain biscuit was good.
Oh my God. I told her to get the Chatfield. Super delicious. Oh well.
What's the Chatfield?
I think it's got apple butter and maybe some chicken, some cheese or something. Very good. It's a Portland staple. Geese Peep, have you concluded your watch and playing and eating of the week?
I also watched the Super Bowl. Good game.
Sorry to interrupt and go off on a tangent, but do you realize what you wrought by bringing up the other day yellow paint in Final Fantasy VII Remake?
What happened?
That's all the internet's talked about ever since you mentioned it. It's the entire... Oh my God. Did I show you the... Here, let me send you...
You sent me the picture.
Oh, did Sephiroth do this? That one? That was a real funny one.
But I was laughing.
I mean, people going so back and forth and all these...
What's yellow paint?
So, okay. There's this they released the demo for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and there's a part where it's just Uncharted, and you have to climb up a wall with some yellow paint. And people lose their minds saying, man, we didn't used to have to tell us exactly what to do. This yellow paint is so annoying. It's what do you call it, Taylor? It's not cognitive dissonance, but it's when it takes you out of the experience.
Yeah.
But
it just really lets you know you're playing a game. If you're at all immersed, as soon as you see that yellow paint, you're like, oh, right, it's a game.
But that's the beginning statement. And then you get absolute miles of text of people saying, are you guys aware that every single time anybody has ever tried to put out a video game without incredibly red barrels and yellow paint, nobody can figure out what to do? Nobody will shoot. Every single focus group will just ignore every single barrel unless it's bright red, and they won't be able to find any path unless they paint it yellow. So it's been back and forth. But so many memes have come from it, and it's just very funny that it all happened right after.
I mean, Sekiro did it pretty well with just kind of white accents, and I think God of War did the same thing, right?
But they were showing, I mean, it's a quality of life thing. It's just ease of use, accessibility, whatever you want to call it. You need to put them in there. Some people are saying let them be a toggle. For instance, in the original Final Fantasy VII, you hit the select button and you'd get the green arrows and the little arrows of the entrances and exits and things you could interact with, that kind of thing.
Disguising it as bird poop on ledges is the best you can do.
Well, they'll keep trying. People will keep complaining. Making video games is tough work. Are you done for your football talk of the week, or do you have more to say?
Yeah, I'm done.
Now we're moving on. Clambo's recline in your chair and get yourself a beverage because it's time for Taylor's watching, playing, eating, and I'm sure he has an additional story to just sprinkle in there.
Oh boy, do I ever. I am finally reaping the benefits of Gun Can getting promoted so many times. Her new office has cold brew on tap and nitro cold brew on tap. And I've had her get me so much cold brew that her coworkers are staring at her as she's just carton. Oh, just carton after carton. And they said it's the first time the office has ever run out of it.
Wow.
That's so good.
It's great. I'm drinking so much cold brew. It's pretty good, too.
Geese, did we ever tell you when we went to Whataburger as teenagers and brought in empty 2-liter bottles and filled them up with the soda fountains?
Oh, my God.
The employee said it was fine.
Soda is not that expensive.
When you're in high school.
And then Taylor takes the hot cherry pie side.
I still have that.
Anyway, you were saying, Taylor, about something?
I started playing. Oh, Geese, you're going to love this. I started playing Dark Souls 3.
Look at her. She's over the moon.
Aren't you really into Dark Souls?
It's all she talks about.
Didn't you watch Aaron play through that?
No.
Really?
I watched Abby play through it.
Oh, so yes, I've started playing Dark Souls 3. It's terrific.
What character? What's your class?
I just started as like a knight.
But what Taylor's trick of the week is, he'll tell us things that have nothing to do with what he wrote down. He wrote Helldivers 2.
Oh, yeah, I started that too. Eric convinced me to get it because he bought me Remnant for his own birthday. So last year. So he guilted me into it, and it is a terrific game. If you're even kind of on the fence about the series, or you're looking for a game to co-op, play it. It's very, very good.
You enjoy it? I remember you playing the first one.
Yeah, the first one was fun. It has a very Starship Troopers kind of vibe, but I don't know, it's really hard to describe because they're going for that tone, but it's very easy to do that wrong. A lot of the stuff that Fallout does, it does just as well, where it's like this real goofball kind of interpretation of nationalism. It's very funny. Yeah, good times with that game.
Taylor, are you trying to tell me it's time for Poké News of the Week?
I think it is time for Poké News.
Clambos, every week we give you some Poké News, courtesy of SarahB.net.
Shout out to Joe.
Yep, Sarah B. Joe. And sometimes the news is even applicable for when you hear it, such as big update.
Hold on, I'm trying to find the cheers. You have to. Okay, hold
that
on.
Can be it. That's fine, Goose.
There it is. Okay, I found the button.
Please. Clambos, the Empire State Building will be lit up Pokemon colors, spelled Europeanly, on February 27th to celebrate Pokemon Horizons launch and Pokemon Day. Ooh, and there'll be a special Pokemon
colors. Is that just red and white?
For a while, you would say it's like red and blue over here, but
I'll bet it's red, white, and yellow.
Probably yellow for Pikachu, yeah. And a special Pokemon Go event will be run locally during that time as well, so get excited for that. Here is less useful news for you because you will hear this the day after this happens, but the Pokemon Go Carnival of Love event is rolling out. It's got all your favorite Oricorios.
I love Oricorio.
Geese loves Oricorio.
I also, did you two participate in the Lunar New Year event for dragons?
I don't play Pokemon Go.
Why not, Geese?
Because if I played Pokemon Go, I would only play Pokemon Go, and it would truly consume me.
Actually, Taylor, hold on. I do need to, because you should have seen this girl on Cats and Soup. She can't handle a mobile game, Taylor.
I can't handle a game like that where it's like you have to constantly be checking. Pokemon Sleep is great because it is much less involvement. It is much less dependent on like certain time and place stuff. Yeah.
That being said, Pokemon Go is just happening in my pockets because
Exactly.
I have my Pokemon Go Plus Plus. It's auto catching all the pokes while I walk and do other things. So I'm not constantly checking. I mean, I'll open it to,
I also
release
don't care about
pokes, and
battling, so
you don't have to battle much.
You don't have to at all.
I get in a battle, maybe it just depends if there's an event where I have to do that. So it's not a daily thing or even a weekly thing. I think most weeks go by and I'm never going having a battle.
look, I know myself and I know I can't do it.
I'm not going to try to convince you. We'd have a great deal of fun if you did, but I won't try to convince you.
And Geese, I will try to convince you. Just
No.
install it. Just play a little bit.
No.
Just an hour a day.
No. And that concludes Pokémon News of the Week. You know what that means, Clambos. It's your favorite time of the day. Time to discuss an episode of Pokemon. Taylor, take it away. What happened last time on Pokes?
Diana finally split from the group, off on her own adventure, and they celebrated her departure with some curry. It was last week.
Okay, so now that means we move on to... This is a very structured.
This is very structured Pokemon.
Let's move on to the title of this week's episode, episode 35 of Terapagos' Gleaming Adventure. Geese, Peep, what is it in English?
A duo in the wilderness, Furīdo and Cap.
Or in Japanese, Kōya no Futari, Furīdo to Kyappu. Now time. There's so many segments.
So many times.
So many.
And every time you say it, I think you're going to say, now it's time for Poké News of the Week. And I almost start saying it.
Yeah. Now we've reached the thrilling segment, Geese Peeps' one-sentence synopsis of the week.
Tumbleweed blowing in the wind, the episode.
That is a good synopsis. Clambos, let's take it away on the big ol' episode. We're going to Paldea. You should be excited because there's lots of cool pokes in Paldea. But Geese, they ran out of money.
This is a very unfortunate time for the people on the ship, but a great time for Taylor, because the entire time I've been watching this show, all I've wanted was to have somebody mention money.
Geese Peep, they're broke.
Yeah, they say that adventures don't put food on the table.
Oh. The Pokemon don't care, though. They're just playing around in the corner, not a care in the world.
I took
was
a
such a
screenshot.
weird-
It's very cute.
It's real cute, but I was very confused by it.
They're just...
They're
Taylor,
having fun.
they're not worried about the bills at all.
Yeah.
Poor naive Roy, our boy, once again, just says, I thought adventuring was the rising Voltacular's job. just like getting paid in Final Fantasy VIII, you're running around adventuring and then you just get the deposit in your account.
Yeah.
I don't know
To be-
why Dot isn't doing a kind of like travel blog so they could be a travel influencer for money.
Oh,
Why
well,
isn't she...
That's my question.
Why isn't she running hype trains constantly? She needs to be doing subscriber goals. Come on now.
Mhm. Big
Maybe
goals.
that's not a source of money in Pokemon, being like an influencer.
Oh, it has-
It is. She literally mentions in this episode that she got a brand deal because she showed a hat in one of her streams.
Exactly.
No, but that's for fun.
Taylor,
Ayano's a gym leader for money.
and she's a big old streamer. So we throw around some ideas. How are we going to make some money? Let's see. Murdoch could make some sweets. Maybe we could fix some things. Molly, do you want to do some freelance medical services?
There's an episode of Scrubs about that.
What, did Elliot run out of money?
Everyone was moonlighting, and for some reason, Turk was giving like diagnoses in the park or
Nice.
something. I could be misremembering that.
Well, like Guy said, Dot said maybe she could make some ad videos. And there's a new theme we've got going on lately. It's the children being children and naive, and it's just cracking me up every week. But Roy decided that the children can go mountain climbing. That'll get him some money.
For all of the like weird teen angst that Liko goes through, Roy just really balances it out by acting appropriate for his age.
Yeah, and Furīdo says, no, you can't mountain climb for money, Roy. You two gotta focus on your studies. Not that I ever see Roy going to class. I see Liko doing a report in this episode, but I don't know. I don't know when Roy's doing his schoolwork.
I wonder what Roy does in his free time.
Probably plays Roblox or something. So then Terapagos climbs in Liko's backpack. We get a little scene of that because it will come up later, I suppose. Then we cut to Liko on the phone with her roommate. Does anybody remember her roommate's name?
Until she started this video call, I forgot she was a student.
I feel like it's a normal name.
Isn't it like Alyssa or something?
Sure. We'll go with Alyssa. But evidently they haven't spoken in a while because this is her first time meeting Hatena, and they say hello. So Liko starts up her classes, and a Spearow flies over to Ludlow, the great Salami sailing through the skies. Geese Peep, what's the assignment for Liko today?
She has to pick a trainer and their Pokemon and write a report on why she admires them.
Did you guys notice in the classroom how close to the teacher's face they put the tablet with Liko?
Yes.
That would have thrown me for such a loop. Just put her tablet on a little desk. You don't need it right in his face.
I was very surprised by that, too, because I thought they would keep her desk open and then just put the tablet on it.
Very, very silly. But yes, the theme of this assignment, Clambos, is the ideal bond, which I'm guessing will be translated to something else in English.
Also, have we addressed that the teacher is just okay with Liko being on an adventure?
Yeah, it's fine.
We have addressed that, actually.
Did the principal say something?
Liko mentioned it to another character, how she got approval to do everything remotely.
Okay.
Well, Liko, of course, is going to decide to do a report on Fritos and Captain Pikachu, who coincidentally are going to earn some money by tracking down a lost Pokemon. And the children will join him. Oh, boy. This intro song. Oh, everybody loves it. We come back from the intro song. We're immediately thrown into the Wild West. It's just a ghost town.
Where is
Western.
This?
It's not Paldea. I would say Unova, but where were they last? Were they in Kanto
Paldea.
Or no, Galar? Remember?
They were in Paldea.
They're on their way. They haven't been in Paldea in a long time.
Oh, they're on their way to Paldea.
Maybe they stopped by Unova on their way?
They dropped off Grandma somewhere. They found Grandma in Galar. I think the last confirmed place we've been is Galar, so England. But they walk into a Poké Saloon. There's some Snubble and Lechonk in here, and both of the children are absolutely terrified, as maybe they should be. Clambos, sorry to tell you, we're not going to figure out what region they're currently in. I was thinking the whole time, maybe they're already in Paldea, but no, they clearly mentioned in this episode, dude says, no, I caught him in Paldea, but now he's back over here.
Has to be Unova.
Hey, look, it's Frito's friend. His name is Shine, which I didn't get at first. I just thought that was his catchphrase. Clambos, Shine has lost his favorite partner Pokemon, Bramblin, the tumbleweed Pokemon, who is very sick.
And has the cutest little voice.
Bramblin sounds like a name that you would hear a child be named by like a Southern mom.
Oh, yeah. Cadence, Candley, and Bramblin. But spoilers, in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, Bramblin is very fun to evolve because to evolve, you just throw him out of his Pokeball and then he follows you rolling behind you. And after he does 10,000 steps, he can evolve into Brambleghast. Spoilers. But
his evolved form looks kind of like that anchor Pokemon.
Yeah, a little bit.
And kind of like Spiritomb.
Less so. Geese is on the money, though.
I don't know the anchor Pokemon.
Yeah, you do. He's our boy. He's very scary.
Oh.
Dragmar. That Pokemon's name, of course, is Delmise. These people.
So was this something
Yeah, but I don't remember.
Good job, Geese.
Thank you.
All right. So we learned that they clearly are not in Paldea, like I said earlier.
I also like how Shine is like, who are these kids? And he was just like, they're my traveling buddies. And like, no question from Shine. I'm like,
you brought him in the bar, Fritos?
It's very amusing that Fritos is like, oh, you don't want to mess with anybody around here. And Shine is just the most innocent, happy little dude.
Yeah, I bet he could have found Bramblin, but as we'll soon learn, he says, I'm real busy around here. I can't find him. So he caught Bramblin last month. Oh my God, Geese. They do this for me, I'm guessing. Just these adorable little shots. They don't need to do this, but they always manage to animate the little Pokemon eating out of their little bowls on the floor. And it's always so cute. But then it always does make me think like, well, once they evolve and they're bipedal, I guess then they get to eat on the table like a human. It's very silly. Imagine a big giant man just laying on the ground trying to eat out of a puppy bowl.
Well, I'm thinking of like someone like Machamp. I could see him sitting cross-legged on the floor, just eating out of the bowl.
Eating out of the bowl.
Ooh, just like that other scene in Scrubs, where the janitor has to eat off the floor, and that's why he's so good at cleaning stuff.
Cancel the cobbler. My man Shine is too busy to find his own Pokemon. Also, there's a bunch of Pokemon hunters about.
That's why he's so busy, because it's his job to find poachers and hunters. So he's too busy doing that to find his Pokemon.
That's very scary. Hunting poachers.
But here's a crazy thought. In doing his job of finding the poachers, he will find his Bramblin because that's who grabbed him.
But he didn't know his Bramblin was taken by them.
Oh, he just thinks he's lost?
Yeah, it could have been just taken by the wind.
He was lost by the time... Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Spoilers.
What's a Pokemon poacher do?
They probably just sell it.
You know what? I need to bring this up.
Get it off your chest,
I was incredibly disappointed. I was like, for a split second, like, oh my God, is this going to be a Team Rocket cameo? They're always stealing Pokemon. But no, they're too cowardly to have a Team Rocket cameo.
It does. It's a very similar capture to a Team Rocket capture. So,
like, literally, we see a net come down and capture it. And I'm like, that's Team Rocket's whole thing.
But again, and we've covered this a million times, Team Rocket is an organization that only operated out of Kanto and Johto. In the anime, Jesse and James went all around these other regions on special assignment, chasing after Ash, but they wouldn't be in this region, Team Rocket. Okay, let's continue with the episode. The hunt begins. Let's find that Bramblin. Oh, look, there it is. Captain Pikachu sees it. Guess the episode's over. Oh no, Geese, it blew away in the wind.
This is the silliest scene in the world. They're all chasing after it. And I'm just thinking, you have two of the fastest Pokemon, Sprigatito and Captain Pikachu, who can both move so fast that you can't see them.
They also have Charizard
to fly on. Maybe Charizard doesn't like the sand.
It's such a silly scene.
I think it's a fun shot composition, though. It looks really good.
My episode synopsis was not only a synopsis of the episode, but it was also a comment on the quality of this episode and the fact that this was budget the episode. Like,
yeah.
No, last week was budget the episode.
There were so many montages, still images. Also, I don't know if you guys noticed, but during the fights at the end with Pikachu, he took off his hat and they 100% reused the animation for Pikachu here.
You mean older Pikachu?
Yeah, from like Alola or like other animes.
It's very funny because the episode is about the gang running out of money.
Also, okay. But I would say last week was worse because at least this week we have a bunch of new characters we have to animate.
What are you talking about?
There's like 35 new people. But I will say, we're jumping so far ahead. But some of these people do not fit in the Pokemon world. They just look like they were pulled out of a different anime. Just like a cheap Lupin the Third anime. Here's a character.
I was just about to say it looks like Lupin. Shine looks like it.
It's very weird.
Last episode had much higher budget. The fight, I noted when I watched it that the fighting animation in last week's episode was very sick and very dynamic.
Yeah, that's where all the budget went.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Shadow Ball, Reckless Edge.
So they're running. They're running, they're chasing the Bramblin, and Bramblin leads them right into a bunch of Rhyhorn. Oh my god, this episode is very slapsticky. I have noticed.
You know, what's real funny is that applause came in, and I forgot that you could just cue applause, and I was like, where's the clapping coming from?
But unfortunately, in the middle of all this slapstick, we get the regular boring default music, which is too bad because I feel like the music has been very good lately. But this is just the dinky little, track 001 BGM, whatever.
And they didn't even do like a little southern twanging banjo or anything.
Can't believe they didn't
And
do
the
banjo.
fact that they didn't have to have like the classic like showdown music when they began their fight.
Or any of the shots. It's like they just said, and where's it going to be? And they drew a piece of paper out of a hat, and they were like, okay, a saloon. It doesn't matter because that's not going to come into play at all.
Well, anyway, Liko, Roy, Furīdos, and all the Pokemon somehow escaped the Rhyhorn. We don't know how. And they are left at a sign that says you can go left for the desert or right for the oasis. And we get a big giant argument between Captain Pikachu and Furīdos on what direction they should go, because what makes more sense for the Bramblin to go?
Their first ever argument.
Ooh.
And it's on the time that Liko's writing a report.
Yep, she reflects on the relationship, but then look!
It's up there on a tree on the cliff.
Thank you, Taylor. Bramblin, what are you doing up there? And then the wind blows it away again. Okay, God, all of them in jackets in the middle of the desert. I was so worried about how much they must be sweating.
But that's good, because you don't want to dehydrate.
Geese Peep. They walk further into the desert, and they see a field of millions of things. What is it? What are they?
A bunch of tumbleweeds.
Oh, no. How are we ever going to find Bramblin and a million tumbleweeds? Silly Roy. They're not all Pokemon. Most of them are tumbleweeds.
I was kind of confused how if it's a regional thing, he's the only Bramblin that's around? Or it's the only Bramblin that's around?
Correct. They are not in Paldea. Bramblin is native to Paldea.
Okay.
So he would be the only one.
Okay, sick.
But hey, I did not compliment the music before. I will compliment the music now. It's good music. Kind of Philip Glassy, I thought.
Oh.
But Liko sees the Bramblin. Right as she's about to go after the Bramblin, what happens with her backpack?
Terapagos falls out and gets his head stuck in the sand.
Terapagos. We had a whole scene of you getting into the backpack just for that. And in that amount of time, they lose Bramblin again. And then, Clambos, we cut to Bramblin getting caught in a net. And Geese Peep. Who catches him?
Team Rocket.
If only. No, it's just some evil hunter and her cohorts. The relationship is actually a little bit strange. I'm not sure.
She hired them.
Yeah. She's just some evil girl. She kind of looks like the fairy gym leader from Generation 6, Kalos, X and Y, but it's...
They all felt so out of place.
Yeah, it's very odd. They have the A team and the B team. They really ran out of time. This time they had to hire the C team, which is just some guys who work on Lupin, and they just had to use some old sketches. So these evil poacher, stealer, poker men, they already got locked up a Whismur, a Sableye, a Stunky, or maybe it's a Skuntank. I think it's just a Stunky. They got them all in a truck, but Geese Peep. This evil lady only wants one kind of Pokemon. What kind?
Cute Pokemon.
Not these uggos. Yes, Taylor, you were
now that really makes me wonder, what is she doing differently than every other Pokemon trainer?
I'm guessing she's stealing them from people.
From who? Like she caught them in the middle of the desert.
She just wants some cute Pokemon.
Exactly. I mean, most trainers want that, right?
No, they want powerful Pokemon.
I don't know why she's got to be so evil about it.
Yeah. She's like, but I want to catch Pokemon that I like to look at. And I'm sitting there thinking, there's a Valentine's Day going on right now in Pokemon Go.
Yeah, I'll have to get to the bottom of this. I'll ask around. Ask what's the difference between her and other people? So the three hunters are are sorry. They're apologizing, saying, "Ma'am, we're doing the best we can. You picked an area with not very many cute Pokemon, I guess." And then 2 more hunters drive up in a smaller truck. And then this is where I wrote, God, interesting character design. It looks so out of place. Oh my God, Geese. They got the Bramblin. They got Shine's Bramblin. Commercial break. And then we return from the commercial, cutting to the Rising Volt Tacklers asking everybody in the town if they've seen Bramblin. And
another montage of still images.
Yes, which we love. We love budget cuts and people not having to overwork themselves, don't we, Geese?
Yeah, they're doing their best.
Did you see the adorable little montage of, in between all the human beings talking to people, the Pokemon all asking this Jigglypuff what she's seen?
Yeah.
That was so good. Just pudding. I wonder what she saw. I don't know. And now we reach the big conflict of this episode, which is going to come up a few more times. Some children approach Captain Pikachu, Geese.
He be sneezing and a wheezing.
Because to what?
He's allergic to being called cute.
There we go.
That makes sense.
This is bad. It's not a good plot point.
Yeah, Cap's real embarrassed. He can't stop sneezing. Then they start journeying some more, and then Captain Pikachu is on Furīdo's head, but then Furīdo starts joking around with him, and Cap's all embarrassed, and they start slapping Furīdo's goggles back on his face and pulling at his cheeks. Liko over here saying, "Wow, some ideal bond, huh?" Ooh. And now they finally stumble upon that oasis, and the hunters are in there. They're stealing a Skorupi. And oh my God, there's a little baby Natu in there. Did you see the little baby bird? The Natu Geese? And a Geodude. And then we get something real funny to me. Furīdo calls Shine on the phone, and then he just walks up to these men and ties them to a tree.
It's very funny. How like from escaping the Rhyhorn to tying everyone up on the tree. They're just like, no one cares about how it happened. They just care that it happened.
I care so much about how it happened. I need to know the logistics because it just cuts to them two being tied up. What did Furīdo say to Roy? Trip him, grab him by the leg, Roy. I gotta tie these guys up
to the one tree in the desert.
Because he didn't even sit him down and say, "Hey, we have to have a talk." He just ties them up single-handedly
because they were committing the crime of catching Pokemon.
Ugh, so silly. And now they're going to rush to that evil lady. Bramblin, I see you. You're locked up in the truck. And now it's time for Geese's favorite part of any episode, a big giant battle. The hunters throw out Omastar and low-key form Toxtricity. And also a Mudsdale. I'm going to tell you right now, maybe Geese was bored with this episode. Maybe she thought it was budget cuts the episode. You're telling me you're going to throw out Omastar, low-key form, Toxtricity, and Mudsdale? Those are also my boys. This is just...
I love Mudsdale.
I was very excited about Omastar.
I love all these Pokemon so much. If you Clambos will recall, I've used low-key Toxtricity not only on my team, but as an answer to a question at the end of the episode before. So I'm just thrilled to see these guys having some screen time, honestly.
So sick.
What a team. Go, Captain Pikachu. Acid Spray, Rock Blast. Captain Pikachu, dodge and hop over all of that. Thunder Punch. Pikachu, don't use Thunder Punch on Mudsdale. I don't recommend it. He's ground type. Oh, no. The evil lady sees Cap, and she says the same thing those kids do. Kawaii. Oh, no. Here come the sneezes. Captain Pikachu's going crazy with the sneezes. There's a mud slap, an acid, a water gun. Oh my God, we gotta save Captain Pikachu. He's sneezing. Fuecoco, use Ember. Sprigatito, use Leafage. Oh God, Mudsdale's gonna use Bulldoze. That is such a strong move. I'm so worried about my baby starters. And then Bramblin decides he's gonna try and escape out of this cage. We get, in my estimation, Geese Peep, I know we're talking a lot about this, but this next scene is so classic Ash anime of one of Ash's Pokemon being caught in a cage and trying to break it open.
It happens so much. But they always have goofball contraptions, like that glass jar they put Pikachu in.
Yeah. So Bramblin tries to use Power Whip, but he's still just a little guy and it's not working. Oh, hey, Geese, there's a Sandy Gast in that truck, too. He's cute. And now the evil lady's getting impatient. She throws out an Avalug. An Avalug blizzards the Pokemon in the cage?
Brr.
Geese, they're so cold and snowy for no reason. Well, I suppose one could find solace in the fact that they're in the desert. So maybe it's a little bit enjoyable if it's hot out there.
I mean, it's probably just refreshing.
Hopefully. Let's hope that that's the case. But then Furīdo and Cap and Pikachu argue on what to do next again. And Lico's getting real worried about this because it seems like they're getting in a real big fight when it's real important. But I think in the back of my mind, they are actually cooking up a secret plan. But who's to say?
Because Furīdo saw Cap staring at that tree.
Wait, what's Bramblin doing in that cage? What, is he kind of glowing a little bit? What's going on over there? So Lico's freaking out at this point. Toxtricity uses Thunder Shock. Waco, use Ember. Water Gun, Leafage, okay, look, guys. I can enjoy a good battle. This episode, the battle goes on a little too long. As a matter of fact, it goes on 3 times too long because we have different sections of the battle. Even after we've, I think, accomplished every goal we need to accomplish, it's not even an interesting battle. They just keep using the same moves over and over again. So,
and I also didn't. The whole time I'm just thinking. So, what was the issue? They wanted the Bramblin. Girl doesn't want Bramblin because it's not cute.
She wants Pikachu once she sees him.
Oh, right, yeah.
You guys are maybe making my score go down a little bit, but let's get through more battling. Okay, Leafage, Stalemate, Bulldoze, Dodge it, go, Captain Pikachu. All right. Now we get something a little bit interesting. There was a genius plan the whole time. Pikachu, 10,000 feet in the air, Thunder Punch Avalug in the face. She does.
As soon as he hears it, now he knows what to do.
He knows what to do. Avalug's knocked out, but Mudsdale's still using Mud Slap. And then, Geese, Furīdo's looks Bramblin right in the eyes, and what does he tell him to do?
You spin around.
That's right, Geese. Rapid spin 1,000,000 times in that cage. And Clambos, if you'll remember what I mentioned earlier about how Bramblin evolves in Scarlet and Violet, what happens, Geese?
He evolves because of all the wind and the tumbling.
Yeah, he moved around so much, he built up enough energy. But that's right, Clambos, he evolves into Brambleghast, and now he's strong enough to do an extra strong Power Whip and destroy the cage, and everybody escapes. Then we get more fighting. I'm not even going to go through the moves. Come on, stop. It's a big surprise Captain Pikachu wins. Who could have seen that coming? And then we get a very sick high five between Furīdo's and Captain Pikachu. So sick. So that's all done with. We cut to Lico's report at school, and we get Geese's favorite, a big giant slideshow. We get a slideshow of the reunion between Brambleghast and Shine, getting the payment for finding him.
Just a bunch of gold bars.
And Lico, Geese, says she wants to grow up to be a trainer just like Furīdo.
I wonder what the other kids did their reports on. Because Lico had to have had the best source material.
Oh, yeah.
Such a sick, talented professor. Strongest flying Pikachu on the planet.
And then everybody stood up and clapped. And that, everyone, is the end of the episode, which means we're taking it to Geese. Geese, please tell us what happens in Professor Furīdo's Seminar of the Week.
This week, we learned about the tumbleweed Pokemon Bramblin, who's my nephew's best friend from school.
Got him. And
Captain Furīdo asks, what effect does rolling have on it?
Professor Pikachu and Captain Furīdo.
Sorry. Furīdo begins it by telling us that it's a Pokemon that tumbles and rolls around the windy wilderness, and he asks the audience, what effect does rolling have on it? Is it A, stress relief, B, energy gathering, or C, nothing?
Energy gathering from all the nearby plants.
Hooray.
Yep. all the nearby plants in the desert.
Then we get a cute picture of Captain Pikachu tipping his little hat to the Bramblin, rolling through the town, stirring up all this wind and dust and making all the Hop-Bip, Skip-Loom, and Jumpluff fly away. Very cute.
This was the worst seminar because we literally just learned this fact a couple of minutes ago.
All right.
They made this for some favors and some Hot Pockets, Geese.
Hot Pockets? What the? All right. Here's the deal. It's time for us to review the episode of the week, Clambos. And I had it in my head as it was pretty good, but now they're making me think it's not as good. But I know those two are going to review it so low, I got to make up for it by adding extra points. Just, Geese, tell me your review and your score of the week.
Boy, this was a real bottom of the barrel episode, I gotta say.
Come on! It is not bottom of the barrel. Oh, we've had so many ones worse than this. What are you talking about?
This was not only lazy, it was not only unentertaining, but it was also had bad plot points that we know are not going to come up again, like Pikachu being allergic to being called cute. This just felt like, they really needed the break and they needed some filler. This was like filler, the most filler episode we've ever gotten.
Filler Deluxe is Geese's 1-2 word review. What's your score, Geese?
5.5 out of 10.
Jeez Louise. Taylor,
I'm going to surprise you because I think a bunch of people went into the office and they said, all right, bad news, we're out of money. Write me an episode. What do you got?
And then they write, the gang runs out of money.
And they were like, yeah, okay. Write what you know, they say.
Yeah,
they found a bunch of old drawings in a filing cabinet.
I know they, for fact, reused a lot of Pikachu's animation from Sun and Moon because if you remember correctly, Pikachu and Sun and Moon does that punch to like the cut all the time in that show, and they use that here.
It's the same thing? 100%?
Yes, and they had to have reused the animation because Pikachu made a point of throwing off his hat so that they could reuse the animation.
I hope
Taylor, you don't have to act like it's scandal. Disney did that. Don't you remember seeing a million times like it's the exact same in Robin Hood and Snow White? It's the exact same animation.
Oh, but they were like drawing backgrounds on glass panels so they could move them around.
It's normal to reuse animation. It's not.
It is normal. I do want to clarify. It is normal to reuse animation, but they just didn't do it in a way that was beneficial or in a way that made me not think that, wow, this is reuse animation.
Wow, guys, you better step it up to impress Geese next week.
Yeah, guys, come on.
Normal score. If I'm reviewing this as a person who enjoys watching weekly Pokemon, and that's what I want to watch is an entertaining episode of Pokemon, just go ahead and skip this one. Gonna give it like a nice 4 out of 10.
4 out of 10?
Sorry. 4.3 out of 10.
You guys are out of your minds.
If you're watching this with the scenario that I just said, where the animators are rummaging around old concept art saying, let's use this. Okay, where do they gotta be? A desert? All right, that's fine. 8.5 out of 10.
Oh my
yeah.
God. I need an official score, Taylor.
I'm gonna probably go with the low 4s on this one.
4.3 and a 5.5. You guys, come on. Clambos, I'm sorry about these two.
Waster.
I don't know what their problem is. We're literally watching an episode with Toxtricity in it. And Omastar.
Tell me why you think this is a good episode. What were the redeeming qualities of this episode other than Toxtricity?
Because you can just look at a picture of Toxtricity.
You can't just say, you can't destroy my entire argument before it begins by saying without using the word Toxtricity.
This episode was full of, I think this is the most episode that was like instead of showing. Like, this is the worst it's ever been for them. There was montages. Furīdo explains everything. This is like a lot of Liko internal monologue.
Look, does any of the plot make sense? No. Did we see Loki form Toxtricity? Yes. First off, my boy. Natu was there. He's cute. Guys, Lookin.
Just,
I'm trying to say look and listen at the same time.
just remember the fact that a plot point was Pikachu being allergic to being called cute.
And he did a cute sneeze, and the Pokemon were eating food in a cute manner. I was going to go higher than this, but let's just put it at 7.0. Lots of cute. Toxtricity is there.
You can also just look at pictures of Pokemon and replace this episode.
No, Taylor, why do you think I watched the terrible black and white anime? It's because they were animated and made little noises.
They're also animated in the video game.
Not like this.
Not like this.
Not like this. But Clambos, it's not as bad as they're saying. I mean, yeah, it's not really. They probably forget.
You have to listen. You have to have bad times to enjoy good times, is all I'm saying. This has given us a nice floor of an episode. It gave me the joy of imagining the animators being told they've run out of a budget, which is
maybe
a funny meeting.
Maybe you guys like Lupin the Third. I don't know. You'll love it. All right, Clambos, let's go ahead and move on to the wrap-up. Geese Peep, take it away.
Thank you, everyone, for listening. You can follow us on social media at LookListenCast on Twitter, Instagram, and wrong button. You can follow us. You can follow us on social media at LookListenCast on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Thank you to Keith for our artwork. You can follow him at twitch.tv/KeithSquared.
Shouts out to Professor Ticklebits. You can watch him on twitch.tv/prof_Ticklebits. He'll probably be streaming Yakuza Infinite Wealth if you want to watch that and you don't want to play it yourself. Or if you don't want spoilers.
Thank you, Professor Boilerplate.
Thank you to our supporters. You can support us by going to looklistencast.com and clicking the link for anchor.fm or Spotify podcasting. Also on the actual podcast apps, I believe there's a link there. Clambos, there are 0 swear words in this podcast, so that means you can share it with everyone, including grandmothers and your nephew's friend Bramblin. So go ahead and do that. And then also, please send questions every week to looklistencast@gmail.com. This week's question comes from R.D. Fine with the subject line, "Bottom line killed the video star." He asks, what is one TV show whose run was cut short that you would bring back if you were assured it would be as good as the original run? Now, my first question is, Taylor, didn't we answer this question before, or am I crazy? Or did I just say Firefly for a different reason?
I feel like we've already answered this. I'm not sure, though. The obvious answer is Firefly.
Well, my answer is Firefly. Geese Peep?
I was also going to say Firefly. I've never seen it. I just know that that's a show that a lot of people are like, it was canceled too early.
Did you just say my answer is Firefly? Never seen it. Are you familiar with Lil B, the bass god? That was his number. He'd throw down all these video games and he'd say classic. Never played it. Just
I'm gonna say I think a show that probably got cut a little bit short is actually Giri Haji.
Well, who says it's cut short? We're not gonna get another season ever?
I mean, it came out in 2014, didn't it?
That's
2016.
Look, everybody loves that lady.
It's great. Who? Sierra. I did just watch No Country for Old Men to see her again.
Geese has something.
I actually have my real answer. And it's
Geese's real answer to the question of the week.
Barbie Life in the Dream House.
Is that an animated 3D CG television series?
I'll bet it's 2D.
It was a bunch of videos. The humor, though, is very funny and like, I don't know. It's on Netflix.
That's the best kind of humor, honestly.
I love funny humor.
Honestly, that should be your main number one thing to hit with humor.
It's just so funny. It's on Netflix. I wish they did more of them. It's like meta in a way, and all of the Barbie characters like talk like it's a reality show with a camera interview, and there's like a bunch of 2001 Space Odyssey references.
As long as it's not one of the there's a big problem with a lot of like millennial writing where they become too self-referential, and then it's like you guys can't be in on the joke.
I think it bridges the line pretty well.
Ooh, bridges it. Nice.
I don't know. Is that a phrase? Toes the line?
Yeah, toes the line, straddles the line, bridges the line.
All those,
I just heard recently.
Those are all real. I almost want to, because I can't just start listing off TV, right? I can't just say, oh, Lost, right? Well, wait, I mean, Lost wasn't cut short. What am I talking about? Yeah, the question is cut short.
Too much, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, most people do think the first 3 seasons are immaculate, and then they don't like the rest of the season. But Lost has a problem that's not its own fault. It's that everybody misinterpreted the final season, and it's very frustrating to any big Lost head who actually knows what is happening, because they misinterpret it and then go back and say, oh, this is the case for all of this, when it's no, that's not the case for all of it. It's just for this little bit, and you're goofing it.
The reality of the show is it has a lot more in common with Stephen King type work, which is real sick.
So actually, Lost, I can't say Lost because it was too long, but Firefly is number 1. That's also the most obvious answer. Taylor, did you give another answer?
I said Giri Haji. Yeah.
Okay, well, that's 3 of them. Thank you so much, everybody, for listening. We'll see you next week, you would imagine.
Goodbye.
Geese is going to have to say goodbye.
Howdy, y'all. It's me, Geese Pete. Thank you for listening to the Geese Pete Productions podcast.
Geese Peep Enterprises, doing business as Peep Industries, together with its subsidiaries, is a diversified worldwide entertainment company with operations in media networks, talent management, parks and resorts, multimedia entertainment, and consumer products and interactive media. Geese Peep Enterprises is a Dow 30 company.